Good Friday afternoon, evening, wherever you might be. It's good to see everybody here today, and Victor will be here in just a moment. He was just here and just walked away. Why he does that, I don't know. Hi, by the way, my name's Darren, and I'm one of the co-hosts of a podcast called DevOps Paradox that comes out on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, and on Fridays, when both Victor and myself are around, we'll come on and do a live stream. Now, the past few live streams have been a little AI heavy, and this one won't be a whole lot different because we're going to be doing some stuff towards the end of the show about a new tool that I found that I'm starting to use a little bit and trying to figure out if I can make it part of my daily driver or not. So we'll see how that goes. Victor, again, should be here in just a moment. Let me jump over to the comments here. Sebastian, good to see you. Ari, good to see you as well. And man, can you believe it? It's almost time for everybody to go to KubeCon. Did you know that? I hear Victor coming in. There he comes.
Yes.
There he is.
Yes, I knew that.
You knew that. Well, we're going to talk about
Yes.
KubeCon in just a few moments. How's your week been?
Busy. Like every week.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
It's still 2020, right?
Give or take.
Day, what would that be? Day 1275 of 2020? That's what it feels like. We should do the math on that at some point. Let's get into this because I want to spend some time on that new tool because I might have you doing other things this weekend because you're going to see this. We'll get to that in just a second. Anything you're looking forward to at KubeCon? I imagine Victor's answer is probably pastries, coffee. Right?
So this will be probably busiest KubeCon for me so far. I have during the daytime full schedule, doing talks, hosting some stuff, meeting some people, companies. Anyways, so I'm looking forward to end each of those days successfully and then go to one of the parties. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. We'll get to the items about what I think is going to happen in just a minute. But this week's podcast was with Valera from Memphis.dev. And we're talking about, what were we talking about? Message brokers. Thank you. I was saying event broker. And I'm like, no, that's not right. Message brokers. And we've heard of Kafka. We've heard of other ones. And it was just interesting to hear a different vendor talk about how they're trying to solve the problem. You, obviously, was it last week? You had the events video about Kubernetes events being not so great.
Yes.
Was that this week?
Yes.
Or
That
last
was,
week?
I don't know anymore. I published something this
We'll get to
Monday.
the end and we'll figure out if that was this week or not. I don't remember
Okay,
either.
yeah.
But anyway, events, everything's event driven. Even when it feels linear, it's still event driven.
Yes. It's a bit problematic in Kubernetes, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Nikos, good to see you. Thanks for being here. So again, podcast comes out on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. And next week, what do we have next week? I'm still editing. I don't remember. No, wait. It's just me and you next week talking about something else. I don't remember what it is.
It's us again, huh?
Just me and you again. Speaking of not us again, I saw this Crossplane post come in today. I figured, okay, well, I'll check it out. New version 115. Thumbs up. Good thing. New Crossplane registry, blah, blah, blah. Welcome Apple and Nokia. Great. And then I got to this fourth bullet. This was sort of like the... you should have led with that one.
True. That's true. Yeah. I'm not very positive that we'll make it for Paris, but we should. The Crossplane should graduate very, very soon. Probably, I'm guessing shortly after Paris. So
Okay.
There will be a big graduation party in Salt Lake City, probably.
That's probably not a bad idea. That's November.
I didn't.
Won't be a lot of snow. Yeah, it should be good.
Is it cold place, Salt Lake City, snow stuff?
Yeah, but you're going to be there in
Okay.
November. It shouldn't be bad.
Okay.
It's not going to be
I'm very
warm.
excited about it.
Yeah. But anyway, I saw that. But again, talk to whoever put this together. You should have led with that. That's important. Because if I had to go below the fold, I mean, the reason why it caught my eye is because it was in the headline, right?
Yeah. How you cannot put it much higher than that.
Yeah, but then I had to find it, which I guess was sort of the deal. It's like, I want you to look through all of this. So anyway, congratulations to Crossplane, 115. Just keeps ticking right along. And there was a post today from the CNCF about what to do before you go to Paris. So learn a handful of French phrases. Bonjour,
Voulez-vous,
au revoir,
croissant.
merci. And I can't do the last one because I haven't done French in years. Reserve ahead of time. Book ahead for the Louvre. Look, are you going to pay money to go to the Louvre?
I've been there like 3 times so far.
Okay. So what they're assuming here, people are coming to Paris not to go to KubeCon. That's what this paragraph tells me.
Yeah, I heard that there are such people. Yes, I haven't verified. It's a rumor, so we'll see.
I could see where maybe this is where my wife would travel with me, right? And this would be the scenario to where I'm in the conference the whole time, and she would go off with our daughter and go do things, right? So okay, fair enough. I'll give them that one. This one was be open to flexible travel. Traffic can be awful at times. Okay, well, that's true of any big city.
Yeah.
If you're traveling at the beginning or the end of the day, traffic can be a mess. That's true of any big city.
Exactly.
It'll be true whether you're in your own car or taxi. Yes. It's just taking the metro and or trams. Go through all the things. So yeah, that sort of makes sense. Bike sharing, I don't know.
The great thing about that paragraph is that it's very reusable. It can be basically applied to probably at least 50% of KubeCons.
Could we actually apply this whole post to every KubeCon? Like learn a handful of fill-in-the-blank phrases.
Exactly.
Reserve ahead of time, of course, because there's probably something to do because KubeCon isn't in the middle of Nebraska in a cornfield, right?
If I understood right, for the US, that part should be learn a bunch of Dutch phrases, right?
Sure, why not? That
or
would
German.
Yeah. For US, make it German. Sure, that's fine.
No, but I thought that. Oh, am I mistaking Salt Lake City? Not where Mormons live and they speak Dutch.
It's Dutch. Yeah.
Ah, okay, Dutch exactly.
You can learn Dutch, but just go with English. It's a much better way to do it. Anyway, I think they could just rubber stamp this one and just replace it. Actually, AI will probably take care of the next one. We'll talk about that later. Karen, good to see you. Martin, good to see you as well. There is even the KubeCon party. There's the party website. Really?
I don't know about the website, but there is a Twitter account. There is conferenceparties.com or something like that.
Oh, okay. The Center Pompidou is always closed for some reason.
Here's the comment. Here's the link.
This one I remember from high school French.
Merda.
Yeah. Oh, conferenceparties.com. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. Conferenceparties.com. Is this safe to go to?
Yeah.
I guess it's too late for me. Okay. Oh, interesting. So it's a site about parties.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I do this, so rejects. So rejects is just partying. That's what I'm seeing. OVH Cloud, a DJ. Oh,
it's still. Oh, okay.
It's
This
early.
year no. Normally this is full, like 30, 40, 50 parties. I don't know what happened this year.
I don't know. I'm not going to even guess at this point. So anyway, if you're going to Paris, just get ready. Hey, again, what's up? How you doing? I saw this post come in. I thought it was interesting. This is from Container Solutions. We used to know somebody that worked there. In fact, we knew a few people that worked there, and they've all left since then.
We interviewed recently one ex-Container Solution person.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah,
Did we?
the Loft girl.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Lian Lee.
Okay. I didn't know she had been at Container Solutions. Anyway, This has actually been out since February 1st, which I missed.
Here's the thing. If somebody's from Netherlands, that somebody works in tech, that somebody was almost certainly Container Solutions.
At some
Everybody
point.
passes through that company,
Yep.
yeah.
So introducing the open source compliance framework. So I just saw this. I mean, I don't know how I missed it 3 weeks in, but it finally just came through one of my feeds. And it's just a compliance framework. They're using, I don't know yet what it is. I haven't dug into it. All OSCAL concepts. Do you remember what OSCAL is?
No idea.
No idea. Let's see.
I mean, I know that
Open Security
I
System
stumbled opposite. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, if you're looking for a compliance framework to use, well, here's one that's open source. Let's just put it that way. Nice and easy to put there. Oh, by the way, in case you're watching today live as we're doing this, on YouTube, I've already put all the links in that we're going through today. I figured, why the heck shouldn't I just do that? Because it'll help.
Have them in advance.
I have them in advance. Yeah, I normally get them ready about 45 minutes before we go live. So it's just a matter of creating my list, and then I can just post over there. So that's what I'm going to try to keep doing in the future. So anyway, new framework from Container Solutions. There's not much going on this week going back to KubeCon. I think everybody's going into lockdown mode. We're about a month out right now. Is that about right?
Everybody's marketing is now working one way or another around KubeCon. Nobody does anything else.
Yep. Okay, so, all right. This is a tool I found. So basically, I don't have a whole lot of news this week, unless you wanted to look at NVIDIA's blowout quarter and just making money hand over fist. That's amazing. Sonar for Mac. It's a native, so you got to be a Mac person. It's a native Mac app for GitHub and GitLab issues. Have you ever wanted to be able to manage issues better than just going out to the website?
Oh no, I have a perfect method for managing issues. Delete. Close.
Auto close? Okay. Okay. Well, never mind. But in case you're not like Victor and you needed a better way to do it and you're on a Mac, this looked interesting to me. I mean, it looks nice to me.
Yeah.
In general.
You know, this is an example of something that really benefits from better UI because, I mean, you know, if you're opening issues yourself and things like that, doesn't matter. I don't see a difference. But if you're a person who reviews the issues for a project, then any help there is very, very welcome.
So that is called Sonar. It's actually Sonar Task. Now, not to be confused with, this is not Sonar Cube. This is just...
Okay, I was confused. I thought it's Sonar Cube for Mac. That's how my brain interpreted it.
No.
Okay.
So Sonar, I'm guessing they're using the word sonar because they have a dolphin. And remember, dolphins use sonar to find out what's going on, right?
Or they came up with dolphin because they're called Sonar. It could go either way.
Could be. Could be. All right. So that's sonartasks.com. You sent me this one earlier in the week. Windows in a container. Why?
Yeah, the person behind the project saying to me, kind of, can you try it and things like that? And I said, no, I cannot try it because I don't use Windows. But I thought it might be interesting for others. I mean, it's basically the idea, as far as I understood, is, hey, if you need Windows, if you're a Windows user, you have Windows. You don't need this. But if you're not a Windows user, but you do need occasionally Windows, just spin it per container, do whatever you need to do, shut it down, right?
Oh, this is nice. There's so many different flavors available. That's
exactly.
It's interesting. Okay, so that is, what is the project name? The project name is Docker. Not to be confused with Docker.
Yeah, that's the GitHub user. The project is creatively called Windows.
I'm surprised somebody has not come after them yet for that. But hey, we'll see if this is still here or not in a while. So, okay. Oh, right. Again, really nothing. Oh, this is events. Okay, so it was this week. So you were talking about events. Let me see if I can, because I did watch this in full. Let me see if I can summarize it.
Okay.
There are events everywhere in Kubernetes.
Yes,
everywhere.
Every resource produces events.
But if there's a problem, an event doesn't necessarily bubble all the way up to the root of what you're trying to debug, or the other way around. Depending on,
exactly.
You don't have that level of visibility that really you need.
And that's kind of okay if you're very much into Kubernetes. So if I see that there is a problem with deployment, I know that deployment creates replica sets create pods. I'm going to look at pods and I'm going to see what's wrong, right? My rant in that video was more geared towards, hey, if we want to create some kind of a platform and enable people to do something through Kubernetes without having to learn all the details about Kubernetes, all the resources, then to me it's a safe assumption that whatever abstractions you create, people should not. There is not necessarily need for people to understand all the child resources of those abstractions, right? So if I create something called database, and that database is going to spin up 57 different Kubernetes resources, if I knew what those resources are and how to manage them, I wouldn't use your abstraction in the first place, right? And that means that for me, the hunting events through zillion different resources does not work, right? As a user of that platform that you just created for me, right? To me, this is symptomatic of where we are right now with platform engineering. We all figured out more or less how to enable people to create, update, delete stuff. And then when something goes wrong, we still don't know what is the answer to that, right? How do we provide visibility?
And that's going to be a no-win solution for a while, I think.
Yep. This is one of those videos. I don't have a solution, but the first step, I want to raise the awareness. And we will be probably, within Crossplane community, we'll be working on some kind of solution for that. But it's much wider than Crossplane.
Yep. Okay. And then you also had, what was it? Oh, identity with
yes.
Whitney this week.
Yes. We learned about SPIFFE and SPIRE and Athenz. And I can tell you in advance, unless you're a very, very big company, you don't know that you're using SPIRE. Kind of like it's one of those projects in a background that there is a strong chance that you're using it. You just don't know.
So it sort of feels like SPIRE feels like Log4j. You just don't know what, or actually
even less. Log4j, you see Log4j because when you're writing code, right, you're writing Log4j this and that. This is. Hey, if you happen to install, to set up MTLS with Cilium, if you're the person who set it up, you probably notice that you're installing some Helm chart, something that has a word SPIRE over there. Yeah. But for everybody else, it's just there.
Got it. Okay. So we got through
That's my very uneducated explanation of what it is.
Yeah. So in 15 minutes we got through, or 18 minutes, we got through the meat of what we had today. So now it's all AI from here. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So Google released the Gemma model this week based on the Gemini models. I will say I've tried it in Ollama and it sucks, to be polite.
Ollama?
Yeah. So with Ollama fronting the model, there's problems. So that's fine, right? It just came out this week. So it's not perfect yet. We'll have to see if it's any better or not. But it is a Google-based offering, so we'll see how it goes. Because it was just giving back. I mean, we've talked about hallucinations in the past. It wasn't even hallucinating. It was just like, I don't know the right words to say. I want to go back to what Sebastian said. Sebastian, I apologize. Can we do this Prometheus? Going back to the events, is there any way we could Prometheus give us a little bit, or no? That's too linear, right?
No, not really, because first of all, Prometheus gives us metrics, right? Oh, this is the latency, this is the memory consumption, and stuff like that. So but if it's something else, let's say that we change that for Elasticsearch or Loki, right? Where you store logs, you could say maybe somehow, right? But that's not the user experience I'm expecting. I'm expecting, hey, I created X, and when something doesn't work, don't tell me to go 17 layers below X. show me what's wrong in X as well. I want kubectl describe equivalent that will show me relevant information of events or statuses from the child resources, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. What Ingen said here, gibberish. That's exactly what I saw out of Gemma. It was gibberish. It was just like a 6-month-old just jabbering away. So anyway, we'll see if that gets cleaned up or not. I saw this post, which has gone everywhere else. The killer app of Gemini Pro 1.5 is video. If you haven't seen this, basically he took a 7-second shot of his shelf and then got a list. It's like, give me a JSON array of books in the video. It's like, I couldn't do that, but it's not possible to fully identify, but it just lists out a lot of the books. And then tweaked it to do this. So being able to capture that and turn it into something. Very interesting. Multimodal will get more and more interesting as time goes along.
Exactly. The problem I have with it's kind of, those are all very, very cool things that are still not, we did not figure out for many of those things what is the real world usage, right? It's very impressive. Hey, that's a video of books, right? And it gives you the title, and I will never do that in real life, right? I'm not saying that it's useless. I'm just saying that we still did not figure out what are the useful situations where we use those things.
Well, don't we have to go through these weird, just let's try this out and see what, and then we start seeing, oh, let's do it for this.
Exactly. So that's a normal process. I'm not saying that we're doing something abnormal. It just takes a bit more time.
Yep. I saw this project today. You've heard of Obsidian and Notion and all these other things, the whole second brain concept. And it's what appears to be an open source project. You can run it as open source. In fact, if we take a look at it on GitHub, it was featured today in some feed that I look at. It's Apache based, but if you actually want to get it, you have to pay for it. But if you want to run it yourself, you can run it yourself. And they go through how to run it using, you have to have Supabase, and you have to use Docker Compose to get it up.
Fair enough.
So it's like, okay, whatever, that's fine. But then, where we're going to be spending the rest of our time today, is this tool called AnythingLLM, which appears to be similar to what Quivr is doing, except it's a binary that you install and just use it. So it's the last chatbot you will ever need. AI, blah, blah, blah. You can upload PDFs, files, everything else. And I played with this on a different machine. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to take you from ground up. Now, there is also, again, if you're watching live and you want to pause us and go watch this video, which is down in the description already, stop paying for ChatGPT with these two tools, LMStudio and AnythingLLM. I'm using Ollama. I'm not using LMStudio to run the model. But the guy, his name is Tim, he's the guy behind this company for AnythingLLM, goes into the whole process of this. So worth watching. You can choose to watch it now and come back to us or whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. But what we're going to do is I'm going to first stop sharing this, and I'm going to go back and share my full screen because one small bug I hit today. When I take a look, I'm going to minimize Firefox. You see this thing? Oh, now it works. I couldn't get it to drag from one screen to another. That was really weird. So I ended up having to do the weird, just move it to a different screen for me. So this is what you get when you first start up. So you click on Get Started, and then you choose your LLM preference. So there's a lot already in here. There's OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, Hugging Face, Ollama, which is what we're going to be using, LMStudio, local AI, and just using stuff directly with Mistral. So I'm going to use, what am I using? Ollama. Then you have to punch in. I know it's small. I wonder if I can zoom in on this. Yeah, I can. Oh, this is much better. Is that reasonable?
Okay. Now I even see what you're doing. That's okay, so good. Nice.
Okay. So what I have to do is I have to put in, let me get rid of my, there we go. I have to put in my base URL. Now, I am not running the model right now on this machine. I've got it running on a different machine in the house. So I'm just going to just type in the IP address of that and then put in the port that it's running on. So watch what happens when I tab out of this field, and watch the field just to the right of it. So loading available models. I tested this before.
I bet you made a typo in the address. No?
Yep, I did. 186. Huh. Thank you. It's like, the way it looks right. Okay, good. All right, yep, that's it. So now it gives me the models that are available on that machine. So for this example, right now, I'm going to select Mistral because of what we're going to do, I think. Actually, what do you want to do? Actually, no, I'm going to stick with CodeLlama for right now.
Okay.
And the context window, I think, is 4096, so I'm going to stick with it. Now, next. Oh, that's right. It shows you there, but it's actually not there. Okay. Then you have an embedding preference. Now, with the new version of Ollama in 0.126, they do embeddings a lot better, but I don't care about that. And we're really not worried about the embeddings right now. So I'm just going to take the AnythingLLM embedder. So it's just built in. And then I'm going to select, for the vector database, I'm just using the default. Right, so now that's it. So I pointed it at whatever LLM that I want to use. I just accepted the defaults. And then it's asking for something I can choose to skip the survey at the bottom. I'm going to give it a workspace. What we're going to call this? We're going to call this DOP Live. Okay? It's got to be at least 4 characters. I don't understand why. That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, and then it starts telling me things. Okay? So it's just basically running through a thing here. So all collections, so all this stuff is basically everything I've just talked about.
Okay.
Ish, right? So it's like, it's telling me what you are. You can bring your own keys, putting everything in one place, blah, 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 you know, whatever. How do I get started? It's simple, all collections. Basically, this is the messages from his startup, right? Of how do I do this? We created our workspace already. That's this one. It's like an AI Dropbox. It's smarter than Dropbox. I don't know why he's comparing it to Dropbox. Okay, all this stuff. Mentplex Labs is the company behind this. So now I can click into this, and I can either upload a document or send a chat. So I could say...
what does it work with? Text only, right?
Yes.
No, you can upload images in there or something. Document.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's say this. Let's say, who is Victor Parsec?
Oh, you're opening can of worms now.
Let's see if it's even close. I have no script on this. Okay,
Not even close.
Not even close. Now, books aren't even correct. Nothing else. You haven't been a vocal advocate for cloud security?
Right? Not that I know.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to go over to... Where am I going to grab it from? I'm going to grab it from... I'm doing this on a different screen, so forgive me for a second because I can't do... And I also can't spell. I'm inverting things and I'm leaving letters out. DevOps Paradox. There we go. So I'm going to go grab from your bio. So I'm going to grab your bio, just your standalone bio. Here we go. All right. So now I'm back over here. I need to find you again. There you are. So what I need to do is I need to modify this. So I'm going to click on the gear. Actually, which gear do I want to click on? Yeah, I can do this. Okay, good. So I can add documents. Well, what I can do here is I can paste in your page from the website that has your bio on it,
okay.
Right? I'm going to say fetch website. Now watch what happens here. On the left-hand side, we now see the HTML. And it's already been loaded. So I can take this document and move it to the workspace.
Mm-hmm.
And then click on Save and Embed. Now that should be pretty small. Now, the other thing too, I'm going to have to zoom out just a little, or zoom down a little bit. There's also settings here to where we can change settings. Like you can set up a default prompt for a workspace. You can do chat histories. You can do all these other things. Whatever, right? This is just stuff. All right, so we have our document there. Let's go ahead and close. And this is sort of strange too. The other things we can upload here. Let me do this again. Text files, Markdown, HTML, Word documents, PowerPoints, whatever that was open office stuff, PDFs, inbox. Boy, you can upload your mailbox to it.
Wait, you can upload videos. What? Can you upload? Do you have one video that you did at hand, like video?
Maybe. Yes, actually, one I just finished editing, but it's like 2 gig, so I'm not sure that I can upload that one quickly.
Okay.
But anyway, so all these things, or you can submit a link. So we just did that page. Let's see what happens. Now, again, I haven't tried this. Just like last week, if I fail hard. If I win, I still fail hard. Okay. So let me change. I'm going to ask the question again. Who is Victor? Where is it? Let's see what happens this time. Okay, but here's a problem. Notice this little thing down. Okay, that's a copy. Oh, Sebastian, you're right. You're right. Let me. So this is actually where I screwed up before. I should have stuck with it. So if I go back to settings, do I have to? I can't remember how I can change the model out. Is it
start over?
Gear. So what I can do here is the LLM preference. I can change it right here to Mistral. Save changes. We'll come back to this in just a minute. We'll go back to here. Whoops. That was me clicking. That wasn't random. And then in theory, what's going to happen? Let me ask it again. And it's probably swapping out now for the... Nope, it's still not seeing that change. Because what should happen, if we were doing things right... Actually, here. Let me do something different here. So I'm going to modify this. I had a book downloaded somewhere, and now I don't remember where I put it. I don't think it's on this machine. Let me see. Oh, I can't upload that file either. Rats. Well, that should work. Here, let me try this again. So I'm going to remove that. Since I changed models, it may have gotten confused. Is there a save here or not? No. Okay. Did I download? Okay, so I'm going to move this to the workspace. Save and embed. Oh, this different schema.
I'm going to send you a book if you want to upload something.
Okay. In Slack? Give me a second. I got to get Slack up. Okay, so it didn't like something there. All right. So... Okay. Let's see. Download. Okay. Let's... I don't have enough screens here. Okay, so I'll drop this here. Okay. So now if I take this and move it to the workspace. Yeah, see, I think I messed it up when I changed the model.
Yeah, maybe you need to upload again.
Yeah. Let's see if this takes or not. Because okay, the workspace is updated. Let's see here. Let's go back into it. There's Crossplane. Well, let's because there's no way this would have known it. So what question do you want me to ask of this document?
Summarize the book about Crossplane.
Okay.
Now, curious thing is that, you know what, Okay. I was about to say, how do we know that it picked that book and not something from the model?
And here's the reason
it
why.
did.
Show citations. Because if I can click on this, and then it would click me, then I can
Nice.
click on that document.
Nice. Oh, this is cool. I can imagine people start uploading their wikis, company documents.
Okay.
Because
So
let's face it, nobody can find anything in wikis.
no. And that's where Quivr would come into play because it's a web-based thing, whereas this is a desktop-based thing. So I can see this being useful. Do you remember anything specific in the document that I could ask that would be hard to find out?
What type of composition was used in the book? Okay. Yeah. Somehow, I mean, it did nothing to do with functions, though. But
Okay. All right.
fair enough.
Okay. So we can see that it can read in the book. I messed up. We should. Okay. Now, here's something I found today that's not documented anywhere. By the way, AnythingLLM MIT licensed, if I hadn't said that already. So if you watch the video that I believe it was Tom did, he said, hey, you got PRs, bring them on. We go to the wrench. This is also a little bit confusing. So we have gears and we have wrenches. Okay, wrench is what I want in this case. If we go down to, so we did LLM preference, that got me to Mistral, that's fine. Embedding preferences, we'd already picked that up. Vector database, we'd pick that up. But data connectors, I can point it at a GitHub repo or a YouTube video.
Okay.
So
Okay, let's give it to transcribe one of the videos.
let's see if it does it or not. So find, which video do you want? You want this week's events one, or do you want something else?
Yeah, sure. Events, why not? I mean, whatever you have at hand doesn't matter.
Well, I've got to get it at hand. Let's see, events. Oh, right. It's very confusing to see the ghost in the thing, thinking I need to get rid of it first, but I don't have to. So let's see what happens. Collect the transcript. Could not be completed.
Don't you love informative messages that tell you exactly what's wrong?
I thought that was a reasonable message, or are you being snarky? I'm not sure which.
I'm being snarky.
Okay.
Kind of like...
I thought it was useful. At least it told me that. I mean,
it could be completed. That's nice, but kind of what's wrong with it, right? Kind of
yeah.
like...
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Let's try the GitHub repo. Let's see what happens here.
Okay.
What do we have to do? Public or private?
Repo.
Give me a public repo.
Here's in Slack, right?
Yep, give it to me.
Here you go. It's just the first one that popped up in my history.
Okay. And then main branch is okay, or do you want the other?
Main branch.
Okay. Anything to ignore?
Nothing. It wouldn't be. If there is anything to ignore, I messed it up independently of this.
Okay. 8 files collected. The output folder is that. Okay.
There is more than 8, I can tell you that.
Well, let's see where there's event logs. Okay. So now if we go back into our configuration here, I'm wondering, there it is. And this one? That's all appears to be there. On main branch?
Yeah, if you ignore the directories, that's all there is to it.
Okay. So let me add this.
But yeah, basically it's useless because it ignores the directories, right?
Oh, so it's not walking it.
No.
So you need a flat. Okay. Are the books still no, that's fine. Is the book repo still public or not?
Book repo is not public. I can make it public, but again, directories.
Oh, that's right. Dang.
I mean, any repo that has more than five files has directories, right?
Yeah. Well, dang. I thought it was going to be cooler than that. Actually, it is cool, right? I mean, it's a start. So the question is, let's look at this again, see if there's anything I'm missing. Trying to collect fulfill without a personal access token. I don't have my personal access token.
Yeah, but it's a public repo. It should work.
Yeah, you would think so, but it's not. It doesn't appear to be doing a git clone, which is what I would expect it to do. I wouldn't expect it to make an API call. I would expect a git clone for a public repository. Well, dang. Okay. I'm trying to think of anything that's flat at the top. Can you think of any?
I mean, here's one that is not flat, but still has a few Go files in the root.
I wonder. Okay. Okay. We'll do that one real quick. Master branch or dagger branch? Yeah. Okay.
Master.
Okay, we'll do that.
You know by the name of the branch, that's a very old repo.
Yeah, 19 files. Okay, that's fine. Let's see what happens. So let's add this into this. I'm going to get rid of Docker ignore and git ignore and teller. I'll leave everything else.
None of those are secret, so it's fine.
Well, no, but I'm saying they're probably not useful. Actually, no, let's leave them in because I can ask. Okay, so let's go and just put the whole thing over. So move 19 files over. Save and embed. Francisco, I'm sorry, we are just playing around trying to figure out anything LLM. We're guessing and we haven't played with it at all. So that's what we're doing. By the way, thanks for watching on X. You're the first person to comment from X, I think.
Yeah. It's running on X.
Yep, we're on X today again as well. I figured why not? It doesn't hurt anything. Okay, so go back to here. Now what do we want to do?
Explain simply silly demo repo. Yeah, those configuration files, the big session. Okay. It actually did get the directories. It's just you're not seeing them for some reason there because. Yeah, like Kubernetes application that's in Kate's directory, right? I mean, actually, there is Kate's directory, there's Timoni directory over there, so it did get the directories.
Well, let's see. I don't know how, but it doesn't show the. At least this isn't all the files, is it?
I mean, that's all the files in the root directory, but I'm guessing from the description because there is nothing Kubernetes in root.
Okay. Explain the Docker file and how to make it, and if there is any way to make it more secure. Anybody got some prompt ideas? Drop them in the chat. We'll okay. I thought we had a Docker file in there.
Yeah, we do. It's hallucinating.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I'm back on Mistral now, though, so the citations.
Yeah, it got it from wrong files completely. Like, what you ask is completely unrelated with Crossplane and Octeto.
Yeah. Let's see if it... In that case, let's examine the one that's there. Okay. Does that look right? Docker file is quite simple. Starts from the Alpine Linux base image.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, probably if it explains Dockerfile, it should probably say that it's multi-stage build that creates 2 container images. Second one uses files from the first and stuff like that.
Okay, I want to look. We'll go here real quick. GitHub. I want to see if there's an issue about not. What am I looking for? I am looking for. Actually, here, let me just search for GitHub. Of course, all of these are going to be related to GitHub because we're on GitHub. With depth level. They're wanting to add depth level. Okay, good. So that's an open thing. Let's type YouTube. 9 closed.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is a fairly new project probably, so
yeah, it is.
It's to be expected.
Yeah, it's, well, they don't do the release. Actually, they do have the package here. So what is the version number? Oh, that was actually not. So you can't install it from GitHub, which is fine. You have to download it from them. But, I mean, in general, if I could figure out a few things. Let me try one more video. Actually, here, let's try this one, just because. Because now I'm really curious. Is it the video, or is it just the problem?
Maybe it doesn't like me.
Could be. Response could not be completed. Okay, well, wait a minute.
And, somebody says that it might be that the video it has to have transcripts
Attached with it, yeah. And we're not doing that. Let's see. Here's the... That is not what I wanted. I was hoping the chat or the log would show me something. This is one thing that I found too with LMStudio. It's a little bit better, but that's fine. Are we on the right? 1844? Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it. It's just off time there. Oh well. Yeah, I wish GitHub would bring in everything. Because like what I'd like to do is point it at a larger project, slurp it all in, and then
probably,
go.
Or even the whole organization, right?
Yeah. Well, but isn't that what other companies have already built? I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I like it. I think going back, because like I tested with, actually here, let me pull this over here because I've got access to.
But you know, wouldn't the purpose of prompt-based operations, like what you're doing right now, be that you use prompt to do all the things that you did so far, right?
Yeah.
What I would expect is kind of, hey, go to this GitHub repository, fetch the files, and tell me what's it about, rather than this.
Yep. All right, I've got a PDF there, and I've got a PDF here. All right, so upload those two.
And judging by what I'm seeing on the right side, it seems that it's treating all those files from Git repo as individual items.
Individual files, which is what you want to do anyway, right? Because you have to slice stuff up anyway to go into an embedding.
No, you want to have the context.
Well, okay.
Right? Because if I import 20 different repositories, it should understand the context of each of those, not treat them as 1,000 files.
Yeah. So I'm uploading two PDFs. One is Hugo in Action, which is a Manning book. And the other is Your Code is a Crime Scene, which is also well, actually, it's Pragmatic Programmers. Let's see what happens with these two, because these are larger, like full-on books. Thing with AI and RAG. First, our data is not that good, and we try to embed it, and it's even not, yeah. But here's the thing I like about this, specifically anything LLM. I could try to figure out the whole RAG thing and piece things together. At least here it makes sense, logical sense, and I'm not leaving my machine. Well, I'm leaving my machine, but I'm not leaving my network.
Yeah, it's very similar to what I experienced with, at least conceptually, with Azure OpenAI, right?
Yeah.
You set up a model or multiple models, you import your files, and off you go, right? Except that this is a self-hosted similar thingy, right?
Yep. Okay, my workspace is updated. I've got my PDFs all in there and then all the other files. Okay, good. So now what I should be able to ask is...
What was the book about?
one is Hugo.
Okay, but tell me about, explain Hugo framework. Because now what I expect, this is all fine. I expect it to show your book in citations, right? There we go. Cool.
Yep. And is my code really a crime scene? Let's see if it... Oh. Citations. Yeah, I mean, it's pulling stuff from there.
Yeah.
So it works, whatever that means, right?
Yeah. Now, what would be interesting in integrations to have something like something broader, right? Kind of, hey, this is my Google Drive, or this is my YouTube account, or this is my GitHub account, right? Go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like looking at this where it says fetch website. It's not really fetch website, it's fetch this page.
Exactly.
Right. There's no spidering. There's no... I think that's the key point to this is there's just no spidering anywhere.
That's the key, right? Because it needs amount of information, right? You're not going to benefit by uploading a couple of documents.
How can I create a theme for Hugo? Let's see, because that's a broad question. Or how do I guess is what I should have said. Yeah. That's correct. You got to admit, that's pretty cool.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, this is... if I don't forget, I'll go to the to open an issue, kind of create a crawler.
Yeah. Well,
Let's be awesome.
Let's double check this here. And this is a single PDF as a document's too big. You got to split it by how. Yeah. This I was reading or watching somebody do this. It's like, okay, how do I decide how do I slice it up? Because you don't want to say every 500 words. You need to be able to. I mean, maybe it's 500 words, but you need to make sure it's contextual 500 words. Like you just don't want to drop things. This is where I'm thinking through. I'm going through logs, right? I can't just take 500 lines out of a log because that doesn't make sense.
Exactly, and I would expect that whichever tool you're using to import your data, the kind of slicing, that would be the job of the tool, not yours.
Right, but that slicing is hard, right? Because how do you slice? What is the
Fair
right
enough,
way to slice?
We're getting AI to do the hard things, not the easy ones. Hopefully.
Well, at this point, I think the humans are still doing all the hard stuff. And I mean, it's like seeing a meme. It was like, I thought AI was supposed to get rid of the dull jobs, whereas now AI is doing all the creative stuff, and we're still stuck doing the hard stuff. Trying to see if there was anything else.
There you go. Like select the last one. Select folders for import. That's the thing.
Let's see that. Import the folder itself with. Okay. If there was a simple way to point it at a host device folder, leaving it, that would be more useful. Yes, GPU4 monitors folder. Okay. All right. So the answer is yes. That request is in. Let's see if there's anything else interesting or not. I did that fast. Chunking of PDFs. That's a request, which is what you would want.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Nice.
It's still a heck of a lot better than what we had 2 weeks ago. right?
There you go. Imagine in 2 weeks. The speed with which this is moving.
I think I've got to test this out. I just don't have a token laying around. I don't want to create one right now.
That's possible, yeah.
If it had the token, because to me, like what I was saying before, if it's a public repository, I'm assuming it's just doing git clone under the hood, but based on how it was configured, based on how it was phrased, it feels like they're using the API, right? Based on how it's phrased, it feels like they're using the API. And so, I mean, to me, if it's a public repository, don't use the API. Just do git clone. Be done with it.
Exactly.
That's what I would do. There's a reason why I do as much stuff as I can in public.
But that's the thing about UX of an application. Cool. Let's say that the problem was that you did not specify the token, right? Now, I would assume that app would tell you, hey, you know what? I couldn't do it because you didn't give me the token. Right? That's UX. You cannot just say, this is all okay. I couldn't, I'm not going to tell you that I couldn't import the directories. That's too much information for you, Darin.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Anyway, I think it's worth playing with. That's what I'll say now.
Because it's very interesting.
So this is the other thing I didn't call out. At the bottom left-hand corner, there's a link to GitHub, a link to their Discord, and a link to the docs, which I haven't clicked yet. So let's click on that and see what happens. It goes up into another thing. Let me put it over here. Because we might as well look at the docs, because we were able to do all that without the docs, right? I mean, yes, I'd done it once before, but it wasn't that. Did you feel like you needed the docs to get through that first initial 3-step setup?
No, it looked very intuitive.
Yep. Now, it was just the other part.
Except the thing kind of like, what's the gear and what's the...
Right, what's the gear versus what's the wrench? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that was the level of, okay, now what's going on? You can also do multi-user. What? You can do multi-user? What the heck? So you can do multi-user.
I mean, I'm guessing that this would be something you set up on a server for a company, right?
Yeah, that's one thing I can think. Very, very interesting. Let's see if there was anything under... Oh, there is API access to it. Interesting.
Nice.
Did we see that?
No.
No, it's not there. Okay. It's like, what? I didn't think we'd seen that. GitHub or anything. Oh, on a cloud service. I guess that's probably it. Private deployment. Let's see. You only need 2 gig of RAM? Dang. My Raspberry Pi just barely missed it.
For this, plus the models.
Yeah, the model's a different conversation. Okay. Well, enough rambling of that. Can you believe we stretched that into almost 45 minutes?
It's done.
Is it done, though? I don't know.
Huh?
Is it done?
I mean, we're done. We stretched it.
Oh, yeah. Didn't mean to stretch. Hopefully it was helpful to everybody. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it's very.
And since you hadn't seen it yet. So would you spend time with this at this point? Not a lot. I would say, would you give it 15 minutes?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's... Now I've got to think about... Now that I've spent more than 15 minutes with it, now I need to think about it some more and go like, what Sebastian was saying, there is an issue. I want to look at that issue real quick. Sorry. I know this is getting boring. API limit. Let's see if that... I'm not sharing, I know. Okay. Oh, 781. Thank you. Because... Here. 781. Now I've got garbage in my... This is how I deal with... Because it's not always great. So here, and just change it to 781. Thank you. Most likely this should be blue box. Yep. Yep. GitHub can only get the top level files because of recursive search. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough. So now that means I just need to set up a token. But going back to what you were saying, this phrase right here would be great in app.
Yeah,
Just-
either put it there or throw it as a warning when you click the button. By the way,
We're only
you
going to
didn't
grab
put
the
the
top.
token. I'm not gonna give you the directories.
Yep. That would have been helpful. Not a big deal, but thanks, Sebastian. That helped a lot. Okay. So we'll be back next week. Now, fair warning. We're here on the 1st. We should be here on the 8th. But then daylight saving time kicks in the U.S.
Oh,
Are you ready for this? So I'm giving everybody multiple weeks warning. In the U.S., daylight saving time starts on March 10th. Do you know when it happens in Spain?
no idea.
March 31st.
Yeah.
3
course.
weeks. 3 weeks this time.
Why make it easy?
But then when it falls back in November, it's only 1 week. Like 1 weekend difference. So we got 3 weeks this time. Talk to all your, if you're in the U.S., call your senators, call all your state people saying, look, just make a decision. I have a preference. I prefer to stay on standard time. That's mine. But if we decided to stay on daylight time, I'm okay with that too. Just pick one.
I've been advocating for a universal planet time. Just everybody on GMT or whatever, UTC.
Yeah. If everybody's UTC, then you just get
And
used
no
to it.
daylight saving, none of that bullshit.
It's just UTC.
It's just UTC. There you go.
No, we're staying standard, not metric. That's not going to happen. I have to disagree with that one. Okay. Anyway, thanks everybody for being here. Again, remember, daylight saving time will start in a few weeks. Go ahead and get used to it. I can't believe it's going to be 3 weeks this year. That's crazy. All right. Thanks everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week.